there, my name is Kelly Dell and I'm owner of Off the Beaded Path, which is located in Forest City, North Carolina. For today's video, I'm going to start you off on a series of videos that will show you how to make some fun gifts or things that you can wear for the upcoming Christmas season. Today, I'm going to start you off with wire wrapped rings. Now, for the ring, you're going to need, what I like to use is this 20 gauge wire by the Artistic Company. As you can see here, it's 20 gauge, and I'm going to be using the non-tarnish silver wire. Now, the reason I like to use the non-tarnished silver is because it has a copper core, or like a different metal core to it, but it has the non-tarnish over the top, and it almost has a little bit of a plastic coating or some sort of coating to keep the metal from actually touching your skin. So it doesn't turn, and I've yet to have anybody who's had an allergy to it. So, you know, go figure. But I love to make the rings with this. I use the 20 gauge because it's wonderful, because round beads, like regular round glass beads and crystals, will all fit on the wire. So I'd use that, and then you're going to need a ring mandrel. The ring mandrel that I use today has a groove on the back of it, so that way you can actually put your bead in there. So you'll definitely need one of these so that you can size the ring. So, get your materials together. You're going to need a few beads, and you're also going to need a round nose, a flat nose, and a cutter for this project. Now, I'm going to hurry up because it's really cold out here. Hurricane Sandy has caused a cool front to kind of come to our part of the country, so I'm going to go in and show you guys how to make these so I can get out of the cold. So I hope you guys enjoy. So the first thing I'm going to do is, when you buy the 20 gauge wire on the spool like this, it has a little clip. Don't lose that clip. You're going to need it. I'm going to pull off about 20 inches of wire. Use your cutters, cut it, and then take your clip and clip it back on. Now, the first one I'm going to start out with is my 10 millimeter round bead. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to thread on my 10 millimeter round, and I'm going to let it drop to the center of my wire. Now, I like this specific ring mandrel because on the back it has a groove, and this groove is great to put your bead on. So this is the one that I like and that we sell on our Etsy page, and you can make a size 1 all the way to a size 15 ring. But when you make the ring, you want to be sure, let's say you need a size 8 ring, you'll want to actually start out at a size 9. So I want to make a ring to wear today. So I wear a size 8.5. So I'm going to start out at a 9.5. So I'm going to take my bead and I'm going to lay it in the groove actually on the ring mandrel. But if you don't have a ring mandrel with grooves in it, you're just going to lay it on the ring mandrel. Alright, and I'm going to come around, and I'm putting this on the back side that you can see here. I'm going to come around and I'm just going to cross the wires on the back just like this so that it makes kind of an X shape. And then I'm going to bring those wires back around to the front so that it looks just like this. I have my bead, and then I have my 2 wires coming up. Now, if you look, one wire is on one side, and then one wire is on the other side, and that's exactly what you want. So I'm going to take the one wire here. I always work on the one, for the way you guys are seeing it, it's going to be closest to you, but it's going to be furthest from me. So, but you want to take one wire. So I'm going to take the wire here that's on this side, and I'm going to wrap it right back around the ring mandrel again. So now I've got 3 wires there. Now I'm going to take the other wire, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take it, and I'm going to wrap it around the ring mandrel again, so that when I come back up, both wires are in the same direction, but now this is what it looks like. Okay. Now, it doesn't matter which wire I start out with, but I'm going to keep it kind of on their same sides here. And I'm going to take this first wire, and I'm going to start to wrap it till I meet this wire. And I'm going to take this wire and I'm going to wrap it till I meet the other wire. And I'm going to continue. I'm going to pull this off my ring mandrel here so I can work with it a little bit. And I'm going to continue to wrap each time, just grabbing a hold of the next wire and wrapping it until I get all the wire I want wrapped around the top. So right now, this is what I've got so far. So one wire should be on one side and one wire should be on the other side. Now I'm going to go ahead and take my cutters and I'm going to trim this other piece of wire here just a little bit so that it's about the same length on both sides. I'm going to take my round nose pliers and I'm going to work with one side at a time, and I'm going to grab a hold of the end of the wire and I'm going to turn it under so that it goes just like this. I'm going to keep turning the wire and I'm going to tighten it up a little bit here at the top. And I'm going to keep turning each time until I have wrapped about twice around the one side. Now I'm going to take and do the same thing on the other side because you can see it kind of gets a little wonky. So now I'm going to come to this other side. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to grab a hold of the end wire here and I'm going to wrap it through the center and then just make sure you keep wrapping it around. Some people I've seen take and they go ahead and they pull it really tight, and you can do that too. You know, everybody kind of does their own way, but I'm going to wrap it and put about 2 wraps, like I said, on each side. Then I'm going to put it back onto my ring mandrel and pull it down a little bit here, and that is exactly about a 9 1/4 to a 9 1/2. I actually started it out at a 10 1/2. So the more you wrap, the smaller the actual ring's going to be. So just keep that in mind. But I'll go ahead and I'm going to put one more little wrap. Oh, pressed too tight there. One more little wrap on each side. And then I'm going to take, if you can see without it blurring up here on me, there's a little piece of wire sticking up right there. And I'm going to take my flat nose pliers and I'm going to grab a hold and I'm going to press that wire down. And now run your finger over it because you don't want anybody to cut themselves or scratch. So you want to run your finger over it and make sure that that's going to be laid down flat. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to take and finish wrapping. I'm going to use my cutters and I'm going to trim the wire. And I'm going to take the little piece that's sticking out right there. I'm going to grab a hold and I'm just going to press it down. And again, run your finger over it and make sure, and then put it back on the wire mandrel. Okay, so I've pulled it so tight that it's made it about a size 9 ring. So sometimes you can stick it back on the mandrel and wiggle it and get it back on there and it'll size up to what you need it to be. But that is a perfect size for my finger. So there is how to make a single bead ring. Now I'm going to show you how to make a 3 bead ring. Now I'm going to start out the 3 bead ring by putting 3 beads, I'm using 6 millimeters, onto 24 inches of the wire. Now I'm going to do just like I did on the other. I'm going to take my ring mandrel, make it a size bigger than what you want. So I'm going to lay the beads onto the mandrel I'm going to make sure those wires cross in the back. And then just like I did on the other ring, I'm going to wrap the wire around the mandrel on each side. I just like to do this. It gives it a thicker band, and I like that thicker band, so that's why I do it. So this is what I've got so far, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit here so that you can see a little better what I'm actually going to do to the top of the ring. So the first thing I'm going to do is I have one wire on one side and one wire on the other side, just like I did with the previous ring. But what you're going to do is you're going to take one wire that's on one side. So I'm going to start out with this wire here, kind of pull the other one away. I'm going to take it and I'm going to come around the center bead, making sure you get it kind of down in that crevice, around here, and then back around to the same side that it was originally coming out. So I come around the center and just kind of looped around these two beads. Now I'm going to take the other wire, straighten it back out here, take it, I'm going to loop around the center, around my beads, here where I started, and then back around just like this. So the first one was around this way, and now the one on this side comes around and this way. Now you can be done with it. You can take and just bend this wire here and bend this wire here and trim, but I like to add a little bit more wire around it, so I'm going to take and wrap with each wire just maybe like one or two more times. Okay, so what I've got so far looks just like this, a wire on each side. Now I'm going to take my cutters, trim my wire, and now just like I did on the other ring, I'm going to hold it and just wrap the wire around the base here. And make sure that that wire goes around your whole ring band. And this will take a little practice, so if your first ring band doesn't look great, you know, just cut it and make another one. Don't stress out over it because it's relatively easy once you play and mess. And now I'm not a wire working person. I do not wire wrap and, you know, all that kind of stuff. I like to do my seed beads, but once you get in the groove of how these are done, I mean, really, you'll have them out. You'll be popping these suckers out in no time. Okay, so I've got my wire wrapped. Oh, sorry guys. Got my wire wrapped here on each side. So I'm going to take and trim. Trim. And then use my flat nose pliers and tuck in the little piece of wire there that I have. And then I have a beautiful 3-bead ring, and if you need to, put it on the ring mandrel and kind of form it back into shape. And you'll have a beautiful new ring. So I'm going to show you this 3-bead ring one more time. Alright, so one more time, I've got my 3 beads. This time I'm going to use a 6mm bicone. And I'm going to put them on my ring mandrel and cross the wire just like I normally would. And I'm going to wrap the wire once around each side, and you want to be sure not to cross them on the back. You want that just straight lines there. Alright, now I'm going to zoom in a little bit here so you can see again what I'll be doing. my wire, I'm going to start out on one side, so I'm going to start on this side. It's going to come around the center bead on one side, on the side here, and then back around this way. The other wire is going to come around the center, around the two beads here, and then straight out this way, so that you have your both wires on each side of that center. Now I'm going to go ahead and do one little wrap around each side here, just to get my wire. Did one wrap on each side just to get that wire back so that one is on each side there. Now I'm going to take it off the ring mandrel. I'm going to use my round nose pliers. I'm going to hold the beads here in my hand. I'm going to use the wire and wrap it around the beadwork. And each time, make sure the wrap goes right after the wrap before it. Okay, so I'm going to do a little on that side, and then I'm going to switch and do a little bit of the wrap on this side. Now I'll show you another thing that I've seen people do before. So I've also seen people put it back on the ring mandrel and then take their flat nose plier and they'll pull the wire really tight. You can do that too. What that does is that'll just tighten up these wraps here along the side. But it's not necessary. And then just finish out your wraps. I'll go ahead and trim the wire on this side and use my flat nose pliers to tuck in the little tail there. And then I'm going to finish out. I've got about 3 wraps on this side, so I'm going to make sure I put my 3 wraps on this side. And now I'm going to trim off my little tail, tuck it in there, put it back on the ring mandrel to make sure it's back nice and straight there. And then there we have another beautiful ring. So as you can see, the rings go pretty quickly and they're really fun to do. So just practice and come up with some really fun new rings for gifts and for the holiday season. I hope you guys enjoyed learning how to make the wire wrapped rings. You can find the ring mandrels and the wire for sale on our Etsy page, and we'll have these until we run out, and then we'll get some more in stock so that way you can get some. But these are wonderful because you can make these really quickly and they make really fun gifts. Plus, they're a really great thing that you can sell like at craft shows and you know, art fairs and things like that that you might set up at. Normally what I sell the one bead ring for is about $5 to $6, depending on if I use a glass bead or a crystal. And then the 3 bead ring I normally sell for anywhere from $7 to $10, depending on what 3 beads that I would use. Like if I use crystals, I would probably go up closer to 10. But what I do is I just I get a tag, put the ring on the mandrel, and then figure out what size it is and write the size on the tag with the price, because when I put them in my trays, each one is you know, in a different price. So that is just a little hint for you there if you want to actually make these to sell. But you know, if you have a hard time or you don't understand it really good through my video, be sure and check out other people's videos here on YouTube about learning how to do these. And let me just say that this video was just my way of doing the wire wrapped rings. It's not necessarily the right way or the only way, it's just my way, okay? So if you don't like my way, no problem, just do it a different way. But come back next week when I'm going to show you how to make 3 beautiful pairs of earrings that you can wear for the Christmas season. So I hope you guys have a wonderful week. All my friends up north there on the East Coast, you know, I wish you guys all the best this week dealing with Hurricane Sandy. And here in North Carolina, Lord help us, it is cold. And everybody else, I hope you guys have a wonderful and blessed week, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.